Tlabisa for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Director General of the Department of Traditional Affairs. I may also acknowledge Director General Changana of Cooperative Governance, who was here earlier, DDGs, advisors to the Deputy President and advisors of the Minister, heads of offices, respective kings, colleagues in the department, in the National House of Traditional Leaders, in the Presidency, members of the media. I suppose I have covered every aspect. Thank you very much for being such a wonderful congregation. Deputy President, I'm so used to that kind of nomenclature. When I wear my other cap of preaching, was you only preach to a congregation. Colleagues, Deputy President has had the meet and greet with our Majesties. Important issues were engaged, and a very mutually fulfilling cross-pollination of ideas gave impetus to the daunting task facing us in the 7th administration, in full appreciation of the context in which we operate, the context of the government of national unity, which Deputy President dialectically I always refer to as the law of interpenetration of opposites, as described by Engels. And if you apply what is called a systems approach, input, conversion, output. So that output, to the extent that it transitions quantity to quality, it then gives us a sense of responsiveness which changes the quality of life of our people. With our kings here leading communities with more than 20 million citizens in South Africa, it becomes a very critical stakeholder. It becomes a very critical constituency. And that our kings are here, something which is historical, because you don't always have this opportunity where you would have their majesties under one roof at the same time. So that is the beauty of being in South Africa. In other countries, diversity becomes a source of conflict. Yet in South Africa, diversity becomes a source of unity. And that's what really propels the nation towards progress and prosperity. So without any waste of time, this session is about His Excellency the Deputy President to really greet Your Royal Highnesses, who are part of the strategic core that has accompanied our kings, so that as our kings report back, you are able to resourcefully and gainfully communicate, articulate what the issues that have been so succinctly engaged between His Excellency and Their Majesties. Of course, as the cohort of administration here, ably led by our minister, ours is to execute efficiently with a great sense of agility, so that our Majesties can see the shifts, can see the change, that indeed this is the 7th administration building on the work that has been done during the 6th administration. What I will now do, as a matter of course and protocol, our minister, His Royal Highness, Minister Velengosini Hlabisa, will come forward and take the honor of bringing to the podium His Excellency, our Deputy President, who has been acting as the President. Bulawayo, Ngoja, senginikela kuwe manje. Let's welcome our minister.
Thank you very much, Deputy. As we have met you in the morning and in a private discussion with His Excellency, all the royalty that is accompanying Their Majesties, DG Dipofa, the senior managers that are present, and the people of the media in our midst. Gonna be greeting as he has engaged on critical issues with the kings in that other private discussion we had. But for the purpose of the media, there is nothing private or sacred. All outcomes of the engagement will be made public when we come to an end of the engagement on Sunday. But for the Deputy President, who was scheduled to be here tomorrow, but because of the delegation made by the President that he leads and presides over the funeral of the late Membatisi Mdladlana, he therefore could not be present tomorrow. That is why he took the opportunity to come and greet Their Majesties and engage on issues which will be further deliberated until we conclude on Sunday. It is my pleasure, therefore, His Excellency, to request you to rise to the podium and share some few greetings with the audience.
Thank you, Minister. You may be seated. Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, and advisors accompanying you, Minister Hlabisa, Deputy Minister Namashe, Director General and all government officials, members of the media, guests, all protocol observed. As the Minister indicated, I was due to deliver my address tomorrow morning and have a session with the Kings throughout the morning. However, we know that we had an unfortunate situation where the former Minister of Labour, Membatism Mdladlana, has left us. As acting president, I declared an official funeral, which will now take place on Saturday. He has already been cremated, but the memorial will be on Saturday. The President is back from Russia. He's arrived in the country, but he had called me from Russia to say, look, please continue with the memorial on Saturday. So we agreed with Minister and Deputy Minister that let me come and greet you this afternoon, since I won't be here tomorrow. And we had felt that it won't be good that the Kings are here and I don't see them, even though the speech was sent already, but we thought, let me take a time out of the NEC meeting and come and greet our Kings and just share a few ideas with them and also listen to them on some of the issues they wanted to bring to my attention. We have just done that outside this room. We've spent a bit of time together and we've agreed on what needs to be done. The first thing I reported to them is that the interministerial task team appointed by the President is working, headed by myself, Minister Hlabisa and Deputy Minister Namashe are part of it, and other ministers that we work with. The second thing is that I'm quite happy that the Minister and Deputy Minister are proactive. Once appointed, they started engaging with traditional leaders and also engaging with our Kings. Now, I'm quite happy that this day has come, because the issue of the King's Forum has been raised a number of times. In fact, in some of the meeting of the traditional house, the National House of Traditional and Khoisan leaders, this matter was raised as far as last year. So I'm happy that the day has come, that it has finally become a reality. The King's Forum has been launched. So this is a big achievement. The King's Forum is important because our Kings were saying, when I was listening to them, in those who were part of some of the meetings we went to, they were saying, we do want space where we can also ventilate on our issues. Where do we do that as Kings? So this idea has been coming for some time, and I want to say this evening to all our kings, your Royal Highnesses, and everybody here that the government support the King's Forum. I was told in a meeting that we held just this afternoon with the Kings that they are also looking at an opportunity where they can convene a Queen's Forum. So they are still working on that. But at least we have started, and we are looking at important issues. One of the issues that we will look at is the tools of trade for our kings. As a result, Minister Hlabisa and I have already conveyed to the Minister of Finance to start looking at this thing. Deputy Minister has also had a good meeting with the Minister of Finance, and they will be reporting to me and Minister Hlabisa about the modalities that they are proposing to be able to support our kings. So that matter is attended to. The second one is the issue of security. Many of our kings have raised this issue that we have seen. In fact, many of us have realized that in some of the areas, provinces, our traditional leaders have been assassinated, killed, and our kings have raised this issue that they would like us to look at the security of our kings and also some of our traditional leaders. So we have already raised this matter with the Minister of Police, myself and Minister Hlabisa, and we'll be following that up to see what is the best way to deal with it. There is a proposal that the kings have raised with us on how we can deal with this matter, and we are going to look at it. We also want to ensure that as far as possible there is uniformity in the way we deal with our kings, so that nobody can say, look, we see in this province you are providing the following, but in this province you don't do it. Whether it be vehicles and other tools of trade. And we've seen that with many of our traditional leaders, that provinces take it upon themselves to provide what they think it's needed, but then they do it differently, and therefore you don't have uniformity, and the impression is created that there may be discrimination when it comes to certain of our kings and traditional leaders. So we are going to look into that, including issues of remuneration, which at the moment you find a lot of disparities as well. But I'm happy that we now have a forum where we can ventilate our issues properly, constructively, and be able to resolve them. Because meetings are not meetings for the sake of it, but to resolve issues so that there can be a movement forward. So ladies and gentlemen, Your Royal Highnesses, Your Majesties, I'm very happy I had the opportunity to come and greet. I know that the speech I prepared was a bit longer, more than 5 pages, but I've summed up the important issues. The speech will be distributed. I'm looking forward to working with you, and also wish you well in the next 2 days. I know that tomorrow the Kings will be meeting again in the morning in their closed session, and there will be other sessions that will take place to look at different other issues that the Kings want to deal with. So thank you very much for being patient to receive me. I'm told you didn't even have lunch. You're waiting for me to finish so you can have your lunch. So let me not take too much time to allow you to have a break, and our kings have agreed that enough for today. They also want to take a break and start again in the morning. But we wish you well, and we are looking forward to working with you. I think this is a good idea. We are now meeting in an organized manner, and I'm sure there's no issue that will be too difficult to resolve. The President always reminds me that the father of our democracy, the late President Mandela, would always say, there is no problem that has no solution. So that's the spirit in which we are going to address the challenges that we face. Please always remember that there is no problem that has no solution. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.
Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, Your Excellency, Honorable Minister, colleagues, this then marks the end of today's program. As Deputy President has indicated that Their Majesties have afforded us the indulgence to break earlier than was planned, so that tomorrow they will first have their first closed session in committee, finalize and refine some of the modalities in relation to the structure, so that our program can then start to unfold. Then Sunday will mark a photo, Our Majesty protocol. According to the guidance that they gave us, the first part will be His Excellency, the Deputy President, strictly with Their Majesties. While the protocol, Faith, where's Faith? And then immediately immediately while DP is there together with Their Majesties, you will have Minister and Deputy Minister joining, and thereafter